Hi, so for today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to unknot your chest. For me, when I first started this journey, if I took off my shirt and you looked at my right side, it would look like someone's just pulling it down. It's just from sitting, I used to sit like this a lot, and so basically that just pushes all my muscles downwards. If you look at old people, it's not gravity that's pulling everything down. It's basically their muscle over the year has been knotted in a downward position, and that's why they got like that. For women, this is actually really good for women as well, just because, as you can tell, or as you know, over time, women are afraid of the sagging problem, and that's because they don't generally work on their chest. Their chest is generally neglected, and so these knots go from a horizontal orientation and they roll up into a vertical orientation. And you could just use your imagination how that's going to affect your body as it pushes is in this way. So how do you unknot your chest? Again, with the Aishatsu knot principle, it's just pressing and stretching, right? And when you get towards the end, they're going to start popping. So let me show you what they sound like when they start popping. Well, to show you a little progress of mine, I've been doing this for a few years. So as you can tell, the top part, it looks pretty good. It's nice and flat and stuff, but I lack the squareness, like the younger guys. If you look at them, they have the nice square bottom. That's because I'm still knotted down here as well. So with that said, I should actually work on this part. Since my right is the more knotted side, I'm gonna start on it. You basically just find a knot. I got knots down here. And you stretch. And try to focus on the rotation. The rotation is when the knot is coming apart. There goes one, there goes two. And you can keep the stretch and just switch to a different location if you want. I think that's about it for that stretch. So let me go ahead and do this side. I'm just sensing it rotate and loosen up. There goes it popping. Hopefully you guys heard those. I'm going to go back to the right side. And you might notice there's a lack of definition here, like it doesn't sink in. Some of you younger guys, when you do this, you might see it sink in. The reason why it's puffy here is, again, from me leaning on the right side so much, all the muscle got pushed out and there's just like a kind of blob of muscle, soft muscle right here. It's not necessarily, there is some fat, but it also is a lot of loose muscles. So I'm gonna go ahead and press this part now. And you can add a flex into it. Like right now I'm flexing my arm, just trying to pull the muscles in a little bit faster. Okay, if you look at the center, you might notice it's a little vacant, it's a little vacant right here. That's just because my muscles are still rolled up and still to the outside. So that's why it's not fully squared on the inside. So what you can do is you can press the center part. Again, stretch because you're trying to pull it out. Let's do this side. Now you might be wondering, oh, how come you've been doing this for so long and there's still little changes? Well, I have a saying, it takes time to knot up, it takes time to unknot as well. So you generally want to try to spend as much time as you can on this. I know not everybody has 4 hours a day, but that's how much time I spend on it. And it still takes years. The outside, this part, you go ahead and just press on it. And I'm just trying to stretch my head forward. And what happens is I could feel the muscles right here rotating this way. They're rotating this way because I guess from me sitting, they got folded inwards and started rotating, got rolled inwards. And you notice right now, I'm not pressing that hard. If you're pressing so hard that it hurts, you're already doing it wrong. All you're doing is you're pressing the knot just to get it to activate, just for your muscle to be like, oh, I'm getting some action. And that'll actually trigger it to start moving. Because your body wants to correct itself. Your body doesn't want to stay in a knotted form. The reason it's knotted is because you put it in a knotted form with your bad postures. So the moment you give it some stimulus to correct itself, your body will want to. Well, today's not shoulders. Let's stick with the chest. Oh, and then also puffy nipples, right? That's where the moobs come from. Moobs generally have puffy nipples. You ever seen skinny guys with moobs? It's not the medical condition. I don't know the word because I'm not a doctor. But there's a difference. Like the guys with the medical condition, when you look at them, those do look like women's breasts. But for other guys who just kind of have puffy nipples, that's just because your muscles have vacated out of the area. So you can actually put your thumb on your nipple and put a stretch and pull your muscles back into place that way. And if you don't believe me, here we go. Just remember guys, if you don't have the poppings down, it's okay. The main thing you want to do is when you press down, you want to sense your muscle rotating. That's the number one most important thing. If you keep doing that, eventually you'll start snapping. I have a student and she started snapping within a month. That's probably because she wasn't that knotted to begin with. And maybe she had a little bit more faith in my system and spent more time on it. But if you're not popping it, it is okay. Just make sure you can sense the rotation. If you can do that, you're on the right path. See, like right now, this one's not really popping, but the muscle is rotating. I'm gonna put more of a stretch on it, see if I get to pop. And then this part. So you see a lot of pictures where people have like that bar across here. I think I see a lot of celebrities, they're like, oh, I'm so proud of my collarbone. Well, sorry, sweetheart, but 50% of the time or more, that's actually a knot that's formed right there. Mine isn't as obvious anymore, but before, like 3-4 years ago, there was a very clear bar across here. And I thought it looked good too, but then once I realized it was a knot, I got rid of it. And so now you see like this area is a little bit more connected. And that's just because the muscle here has all been, well, not has all, but has been mostly loosened up, and they're starting to, realign back in their old orientation or the original orientation. But what you can do, same thing, just press on it. This is why I like to flex a little bit. There it goes. Oh shit, that was nice. Let me see if I could do it on this side. I've not been a very good popper on my left side, but then again, that's because my left is not as knotted as my right. Go back towards the middle. Feel something starting to come out here. Okay, so I've shown you the standing version. There is a sitting version. I got a stool behind me so I can sit down. And for those who say like, oh, I have no time for this, you can do it sitting down while you're at your office, while you're at work, while you're driving. Sorry about the sweat spot. This is kind of a workout in itself. Do it on this side. walk my dogs out next time. And then stretch out the chest. So that's it for today's video. Hopefully it's been helpful. If you enjoyed what you watched, please make sure you subscribe and like this video. Thank you.